Indonesia, a vast and diverse country of 200 million people that covers an area greater than the whole of Europe. Of all its 17,000 islands, Sulawesi is the most magical. Isolated by deep ocean trenches, it is home to more unique species than any place on Earth. But Sulawesi is under threat.
When you're sitting in Europe in your armchair watching a natural history program and thinking, I'd like to make a difference, is there a way you can make a real difference? You can come out and join a project like this one and actually help scientists, because without the volunteers this whole project wouldn't run.
Volunteers from around the world are working alongside leading scientists to help conserve the rainforests of Sulawesi, diving on the pristine coral reefs surrounding the paradise island of Hoga. And they live with the Bajau sea gypsies of Sampella village.
Strange to think that they were living in the middle of the sea like this.
Yeah, stand by.
In this programme,
As you can see here, it's slightly bulging at the bottom.
how this special delivery almost comes to grief, and how it feels to say goodbye to your best friends.
I'm not normally a crier, I don't know what to do.
The port of Baobao on Buton Island, a gateway to adventure. Once the realm of Wakaka, great-grandson of Genghis Khan. Baobao has been home to Operation Wallacea's expedition base since 1995. And Ben Farrar, the office manager, would like to remind those members of staff using the kitchen area that if they make a mess, they should clean it up themselves.
22 species of snake.
Today the operation is expecting an important delivery from the UK. A crate of vital research equipment is due to arrive on the 2 o'clock ferry. The dockside is in its usual state of chaos. Finding a way through this sea of bodies won't be easy, but Ben Farrar and his team have to handle this scrum on a regular basis. Keeping a wary eye on proceedings is the operations chief, Mr. Fix-It, Steve Oliver.
I think perhaps the most scary part for me was actually craning it off.
The bottom of the crate has begun to fall apart.
Yeah, as you can see here, it's slightly bulging at the bottom. It's because we've put the straps in the wrong place.
The bottom of the box was splitting open, and I thought, oh no, you know, everything's gonna go.
Dangling precariously 30 feet above the concrete jetty, a youngster attempts to claw his way onto the ferry.
They go on board to clean up any food left lying around, and also to throw ropes down to other people, to bring the bags up and down, to keep the system of porters basically.
Steve ensures that the crate gets from ship to lorry.
Steve Oliver, he's our sort of main man in Indonesia, and he sorts out all the missions, and he's ex-army, worked for Raleigh International, and done an awful lot of sort of expeditions all around the world. A very sort of self-effacing, unassuming character. Behind the scenes, you know, without someone like Steve, this whole operation would fold.
Steve's next challenge is to find a way through the dockside chaos.
Okay, this is Barber office.
The team wastes no time in opening the crate.
Basically now be sorted, so we'll have one pile that will go to Hoga on the slow ship. Things like the tiles here, which are for coral recolonisation project. There's some urgent stuff though that we're going to have to take tomorrow morning early, and that's for Durham University. They're doing a sea level change project, and there's a lot of equipment in there that they actually need for that project, which starts on Sunday, so it couldn't have been much tighter in terms of timescale. So we'll try and get that onto a truck tonight. We'll be leaving probably 4 o'clock in the morning, and then taking the fast ferry across to Wanchi and delivering it by about lunchtime tomorrow.
In the early hours, Tim and the Durham box set out on the first leg of their journey to Hoga Island. It's a bone-shaking 3-hour drive to the ramshackled port of Lasa Limo. But when he arrives, the welcoming committee looks far from friendly. The road to the ferry is blocked by what appears to be the Lasalimo chapter of the Hells Angels. This wild bunch is in fact a pack of local taxi bikes who take great exception to outsiders, buses, taxis, even private vehicles operating on their patch.
They've got a perfectly good jetty. But because the local people used to make a lot of money out of taking passengers and paddling them out in little canoes out to the boat, when they built the jetty, all that income went, and so they developed a new system, which is where everybody has to go into the village, get out of the cars, and then get onto projects, these little motorbikes, and drive all the way down the jetty, even though you can perfectly easily drive down the jetty anyway in the truck. It's a sort of wealth redistribution system that we have here.
Logic prevails. There was no way that they were going to carry this hefty crate on the back of a moped. But Dr. Coles hasn't been able to avoid that bumpy bike ride.
Okay, let's go. Last time I got one of these, it ran out of petrol halfway down, so we had to walk back and get the petrol.
Okay.
The Darwin box has made it through in one piece. And the local cabbies are happy too.
So the box has made it this far?
Yeah, it's quite an experience, isn't it, just to get to Lasalimo. This, the boat is coming at 8 o'clock now, so we're about an hour and a half too early.
Plenty of time then to stock up on a few fried bananas.
There used to be two boats that came from Wanchi, and they used to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. They get here for 8 o'clock, and then one of them had the bright idea that if they left half an hour early, that they would get all the passengers. So one boat started leaving at 5:30, picked up all the passengers and went back again. So the next day, the other boat left at 5 o'clock, and this went on and on and on until they were both leaving at about 2:30 in the morning and taking what passengers there were. So when you arrived here, you never knew whether you were actually going to get a boat or whether it had already gone. But apparently it's not gone today. It's coming at 8 o'clock. So we believe, anyway. What could possibly go wrong?
For once, the ferry arrives bang on time.
You like a banana? I don't think we should rush on to this. Fried banana.
Crowded ferries like this one have been known to capsize in the seas of the Asia Pacific. In January, 37 people drowned in the choppy seas off the Indonesian island of Ambon.
We've made it at last. It was a bit of a struggle getting all those things onto the boat, but everything's on. We've got everything, and hopefully two and a half hours from now we'll actually be in Wanchi and then ready to transfer to the next boat and do it all over again.
The next stop is the island of Wanchi, rumoured to be the pirate capital of Indonesia. The first island in a string of tropical pearls known as the Sulawesi.
My first trip to Indonesia had a tremendous impact on me because, as you can see when you travel around the area here, it's you fall in love with the place very, very quickly. The people are so friendly, they're open, welcoming. The countryside is stunning in places. The diving is fantastic. And in biological terms, this is, in many senses, the centre of biodiversity in the world. And there's so many species here that need protecting, and so little work is actually being done at the moment. So fantastically beautiful and important place to be.
Another island, another dodgy gangplank.
So, all we have to do is get it off, and that's it. Cracked it.
Hoga Island is now in sight.
Almost feels like home now because we've been here that many times. You know, it's a fantastic sight, doesn't it? Just white sand beaches, beautiful sea, fantastic coral. If you just get off the shore here and go diving, then you'll see this tremendous coral here. Box for Ben and his team. got it to Hugo at last, so hopefully they'll be coming over and sorting it out and fix everything they need in order to get the project started. It's been a long journey, hasn't it? It's, many, many hours, but we're here.
In part 2,
we're trying to get back towards Wallacea base, but the Neuromat's taken on water, over.
is this what they mean by rising sea levels? And why partying is such sweet sorrow?
I'm fine.
On the paradise island of Hoga, Operation Sunbathe is in full swing. But it's not all play. Rachel is about to embark on her most challenging dive yet. One which will test her nerve and stamina to the limit.
This morning we went on our deep dive advanced, because we're all doing advanced at the moment, and we went down to 30 metres.
30 metres might not sound that deep, but things can go terribly wrong even for the most experienced diver. A sudden bolt to the surface could result in the bends of potentially deadly compression sickness.
Took a couple of eggs with us, and Mel cracked them to see how the yolk sort of reacts, because it's really dense, so the pressure sort of keeps the egg yolk together. And we were sort of playing ping pong with it.
It might look like fun, but the point being made is deadly serious. The pressure at this depth can kill you if you don't keep your head.
We did an experiment with a Coke can, and we had some sips from it. It was quite interesting drinking Coke at 30 metres. Tastes a bit salty at times.
The water pressure takes all the fizz out of soft drinks.
A lot of us were actually worried about coming up, not so much going down. I did actually sort of lose my buoyancy a bit on the way up.
But Rachel surfaces safely, and there's tremendous relief at getting through her advanced dive.
That was quite incredible actually. I didn't think I'd actually get down. But I seem to be okay now. I seem to be able to equalise okay. My ears are withstanding all the pressure, and yeah, it's good.
Let's get this thing open.
After its epic journey from the UK, the moment of truth has arrived for the Durham box and its owner, Dr. Ben Horton.
What we have in here is a series of basically field and laboratory equipment that we need to do our work. Tweezers, scalpels, wooden rods and spatulas. Oh, this must be the conductivity meters. Nafrac solution. Russian corer. Thinking the technicians might have stitched us up with something embarrassing. We have some nail varnish. We basically seem to have got everything.
Ben will use these tools to investigate how the sea level off Hoga is rising because of global warming. As a low-lying island, any rise could prove disastrous for the Hoga Islanders and for many other islands throughout the region. Helping Ben is 23-year-old Vincent Palumbo.
I heard about it through talk at university. There was just a poster standing up, on the boards, and I was looking for something to start my year off because I'm just taking a break between uni.
And you all got a general gist of what you're doing when we get out there, yes? We'll run through it on the boat.
I came out to do my dissertation originally. I've done dissertation. I was looking into sea level change over the last sort of 10,000 years.
No Rahmat radio check over.
It's the calm before the storm.
So we went chugging up to the north of the island. Asked the driver, can we get across the reef? Of course you can, of course you can. So we chugged on. Crunch. There was the reef.
Oh dear. Incoming! Well, we're grounded. Hilarious.
So they were stuck in the middle of the reef flat, in the breakers.
Completely marooned.
Should have got some filling up there.
Yeah, you don't get these problems on Teesside.
Are we going to try and push it back out to the open water?
Yeah.
Right, fellas.
We had to get out, push the boat off the reef.
About 100 metres. All through a bag of mud.
Heading off back out to sea again when we noticed we were sinking. Quite seriously so.
This is not the sea level rise that they had in mind.
trying to get back towards Wallacea base, but the Neuromat's taken on water. Over.
Had to bow water for the best part of an hour.
Not quite as I planned today. I thought I'd be eaten by mozzies. Now I'm worried about drowning.
Is there a boat coming?
Yeah, I think so. We're rescued. I thought they're just going off for a dive. I look like they're going for a dive to me, actually.
A bit of a disaster, really. I mean, obviously when you come to these environments, never been before, we didn't really know what to expect. It just didn't work out, but thankfully we didn't lose any equipment, and most importantly, nobody got hurt. I think the students enjoyed it. It certainly was a bit of an experience. I'm sure they never thought they'd get stuck on a reef and have to bail out the boats.
The volunteers have finally made it to dry land.
When we got back, we weren't particularly popular with Julian, the owner of the boat, as he felt it was our problem and we'd caused the sinking.
Ben will just have to wait before he can finally put his new tools to good use.
Oh.
Please try again.
Wow, that was certainly enjoyable.
It's not quite the white lab coats and benches as everyone thinks.
Back at base, Vince can now help prepare for tonight's big party, along with Hoga's resident Agni aunt, Olga Mitchka.
The general theme is a toga party, Roman, and everybody's busy making headdresses at the moment.
Trying to make myself a true Julius Caesar, headdress thing. Unfortunately, I think it's going to look kind of like
a tree stuck in your head.
Yeah, a bit of tree.
People just thoroughly throw themselves into anything like this because it's just plain fun, and the creativity that comes out is incredible. What can be done with a few shells and a few bits of palm branch has to be seen to be believed, I think, sometimes.
Joe, can you put the sellotape away?
For Rachel de Cruz, tonight's party is also a leaving do. It's a perfect time to reflect on her last 4 weeks in Indonesia.
When I heard about the projects here, I was just like, this sounds amazing, so I went for it, and now I've had the most amazing 4 weeks. The people I've met out here have been amazing. It's been really good fun. We've had a laugh together. I mean, it's been really good because a lot of us who were actually in the group together in jungle training sort of came at the same time to Hoga and have been together, and it's been really, really good. The people have been great, and I think that's one thing that's really made it, you know, the friends you make and the experiences you've had together.
Despite her sadness at leaving, Rachel's determined to make tonight's toga party go with a bang.
Are you guys doing funky stuff with your eyes?
Rachel, when was the last time you wore makeup?
I haven't been wearing makeup for the last month and a half. It feels very strange that you're putting makeup on. Look at mine, yeah? It's cocoon shaped, right? So it's going to be like a mini toga. Do you think that's a bit risque?
Party toga girl.
Julia is also leaving on the midnight boat, back to sunny Croydon.
And this is something I came out and did by myself. I didn't really have a group of friends doing it, so it's given me some more confidence in myself and my abilities, what I can do. And I think I'll definitely want to go travelling now after uni, whereas before it always seemed like such a tough thing to achieve, to go off by your own and leave the nest, really. It's definitely given me a taste for travelling and to see the world. Is that better?
It's lovely. That's right.
Yeah. It's going to be really sad though, saying goodbye to everyone. I'm going to miss them all a lot. It's going to be really quiet, I think, on the island. Without Rachel's laugh. Cheers, Sam.
Cheers to a good trip.
It's the last moment.
Wow. No.
What is it?
It's not our
It'll be
last
fine.
night.
Down at the lodge, the lads are strutting their gladiatorial stuff. And it's tuna and rice for supper again. On the beach, the local boys are putting on a bit of a show. And two Julius Caesars square up for a drinking game.
What's the start? Right foot forward. Right foot. Right, ready? Ready? Okay, put your head back. Ready, go. This is arak and coconut juice, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
What you saw by its car could be your last hour on Hogan.
But midnight strikes and it's time to go.
Okay guys, this is the first boat, okay, if your name's called out, I suppose you walk over there. David Page, Joanne Harkness, Carolyn Dickinson, Alexa Spiller, G, Chloe Bermudez,
Don't cry, Jen, it's
Nicola
okay.
Francis, Justin Brooks, Natalie Rose Kelly, Iwa Krzyzewski, something.
Such a good friend though. He survived the jungle. Did it?
You experience so much in such a short space of time with these people. They're the only people that can really understand everything you've seen.
I'm fine. I'm just a bit sad to go. I made some really good friends. I'm the only one going on the boat with my joker. But no, I'm fine.
I hate to see them go, and I miss them very much personally. But then, of course, being young and full of spirits as they are, and emotions as one is at that age, they form very close friendships here.
Oh, don't cry. I know, I'm not normally a crier. I don't know what's happened to me.
I keep up with all the things that are going on, who's still with whom and who's doing what and who's got their degree and all these different things. They still let me know, and I think that's lovely.
And I was talking about maybe having a reunion in London in our sarongs and flip-flops and jungle training t-shirts and going clubbing or something. So we should stick out.
A sad farewell, but plenty of fond memories to cherish on the long journey back to the UK. Tomorrow, a fresh set of volunteers will arrive to take their place. Join us again to discover how our new recruits get on with saving paradise.